Hello everybody, this is KPlayer09 and I am playing Buried. Now it's been under extreme request that I did not have a cam in this because some people actually want to read it. So we're going to continue with chapter 2 without a face cam. Alright? Oh shoot. What the freak is this? We're standing on a thin platform of what looks like a fancy subway. The rails look well used, but not old. There are small overhead lights that are very dim, as if they're running on emergency power. The dim overhead lights are a blessing, but the size of the place makes me feel vulnerable. Staring ahead, the tunnel seems to be endless. It's almost dizzy, but there is a small light further ahead and then a space that breaks the monotony of the tunnel's curved surface. Another platform, maybe. Dennis, what do you think it is? Looks like we're waiting for the D train, he says with a deadly sounding cackle. Also, the ringing noise is louder here. It's much more solid now, and there's some other sound. Something like the faint hum of machinery. What's your take on this, boss? You think we're safe down here? Dennis asked. Not at all. I think this is what I think to myself, but I don't want to let Dennis see that I'm rattled. While he seems to be limping along much better than when we first stumbled into this place, he's still in rough shape. I'm leading him here. I should probably make him feel confident in that. Yeah, we'll be fine. Oh God. We're too far to go back, I say. Besides, if we get caught for trespassing, I'm pretty sure we'd slide by. We're good. You're in pain, and we've got to find the rest of our crew. They could still be here somewhere. Dennis nods and looks reassured. A bit and weak and miserable. From the look of it, we can either go left or right. The left is slightly lit. The right, not so much. This is uneasy, since a wrong turn, a place like this, could have us wandering for hours. Suddenly, I jerk my head to the right and hear an unmistakable sound of someone walking. Did you hear something? Dennis asked. My eyes straining to see anything in the darkness. Not sure, he says. Maybe it's... It kind of sounded like footsteps. I wait for a moment, but the sound doesn't come again. So those are our options. Left, a flickering light indicating we'll at least be able to see. There's also a hum of machinery, a sign of life. But to the right, it's just darkness and we hear footsteps in the direction. Now I'm going with logic here. Well, not really. I would go to the right due to the fact that footsteps could mean there's people, and that could be our crew. God dang it. If there's anyone here, they're worth speaking to. Right it is. That noise is just unsettling. As we leave the glow of electric lights, things instantly start to feel a bit more sinister. I look at Dennis' injuries again. This gash on his side is now inflamed. While the bleeding seems to have stopped, the amount is soaked into his pants and shirt is beyond alarming. How much farther can you walk? I ask him. Can you keep going? Yes. Let's walk into the deep dark tunnel. It has no business of being here. He's right. The darkness we find ourselves in feels thick, like walking in syrup. I am reminded of the fear I felt when I was a child and I had to go to the basement to fetch tools from my dad. I was sure there were snakes, spiders, or monsters of unimaginable horror lurking down there. I feel the same way here, walking through the tunnel. That's when I see a human figure, far back in the tunnel, silhouetted in a faint light at the end. He's standing on the other platform ahead and likely can't see us. We look like he might be holding a gun, but it's too dark for sure. Haha! I'm not sneaking up to him with a gun. There's no way I'm doing that. I'm yelling to him. My voice echoes through the tunnel, bouncing endlessly off the walls. The figure turns at us and freezes like a deer sensing danger. Why the hell did you do that? Dennis whispers to me. We don't know who that is. We don't know where they are. Where we are. I don't know. Maybe we can get some answers. That doesn't happen. The person can't see us in the dark, and after a moment, the figure rushes away through the door up ahead. Oh God. This is weird. As we head further into the tunnel, we reach another platform. There's light coming from the platform, but like the overhead lights, they are dim red emergency lights. I start to wonder if the explosion at the logging sites caused a power outage in this place, whatever this place is. The ringing noise that I originally thought was in my head is getting louder. I'm starting to think it was some sort of alarm. When we come to a large open area ahead in the tunnel, it further resembles a subway station. As much as I try to ignore the reality, it's undeniable. We have stumbled in some sort of high-tech transportation system that is buried beneath the forests of Kentucky. It makes absolutely no sense and creates an entirely new sort of fear as to what the hell we walked into. I notice that Dennis seems confident though. When we reach the large opening, we have to climb over the rails onto the platform. I have to help Dennis over the rails and up to the small utility ladder that is bolted up into the opposite side of the travelway. When he reaches the large opening area resembling a subway waiting area, he collapses onto the floor and lets out a heaving breath. You know what? Dennis says, exasperated. This is ridiculous. I quit. I'm not going any further. On top of worrying about my crew and the madness of wherever we are, I'm not in the mood for Dennis to act like a baby. I can't let him think I'm just nothing. We have to hurry up. But then again, arguing won't help. I don't want to. Oh God. Shit. Like I shouldn't. You gotta pull it together. I'm ashamed that I'm getting irritated with him. Well, do you think I'm just relaxing here? He says sarcastically. Sorry if I'm slowing your progress. Great plan you got here, by the way. His response makes my blood boil. I don't need to take this shit from him right now. That's for sure. Help him slowly. I can't stand the guilt anymore. A sappy apology comes out of my mouth before I clamp my lips down against it. I'm sorry I lost my temper, I say. It was uncalled for. But I'm under some stress here. I'm sure you can understand. He hesitates for a moment. I'm sure that he'll ignore me. But he surprises me. I get it, he says. Apology accepted. As for me, I'm sorry for being a jerk. Apparently, bleeding out makes me kinda high-strung. But Dennis is always high-strung and about 2 harsh words away from trading punches with someone. But I keep that to myself. We exchange an awkward look and put it behind us. There is no different than some argument we might have on the job sets over a few beers. But one thing's for sure, I'd much rather be arguing with him over a few beers here than in this nightmare. I reach down, help him to his feet, and we got ourselves up to the platform. Right in front of there's an entrance to a long hallway, exiting the platform area. At this point, I realize the red emergency lights might be on for someone else who is actually supposed to be here, like that guy I saw earlier standing on the platform. Alright, since I've been doing it the entire time, there's no reason to stay quiet. Let's just scream. Hello? Anyone here? I ask, my voice raised to almost a shout. There's not much of an echo. My voice falls flat like a rock from the sky. I'm almost sorry I don't get an answer. I hear it. Hearing anything else in this hollow silence would have given me a heart attack. The emergency lights continue to flicker overhead, casting a sick sort of pinkish light on everything. My mind is racing to what sort of place this might be. It's obvious that it's meant to be kept a secret. And if it is supposed to be kept a secret, then there was a power outage recently. Maybe most of everyone has been evacuated. But what was that one person still doing here? This thought does nothing but make me feel better about as we walk toward the platform exit. We step inside it, and it seems just as empty as any other place, though, weakly illuminated with the more overhead emergency lights. We're standing inside the hallway. It looks surreal for a moment. Ooh. The hallway reminds me of a hospital wing, but there's something not quite right about it. It's the first clean and tidy area I've seen coming into the woods. It looks like it was recently in use, despite the dim emergency lights overhead. There are chairs against the wall and the floor that looks cleaned, as do the walls. The ringing noise is definitely coming from here, and a small flashing red light along the ceiling seems to flash along with it. That ringing noise is an alarm, I say. Not if only were to confirm my own thought. But for what? Dennis asks. And then he asks the question that's been on my mind since I found this little building in the woods. What the hell is this place? We exchange a look that speaks volumes. We reach the end of the hallway and hear a sound like a harsh and metallic grinding. This is followed by a clinking noise, an unmistakable noise of a generator kicking on. Hey, we got power! That is not a good noise for power. That is creepy. Without warning, the facility jolts to life. A red glow of emergency lights is suddenly replaced by bright white fluorescent ones. Ugh. The mechanical hum is oddly comforting. Somehow the power being back on urges us on. It's then when I notice a ringing noise has stopped, so it had been an alarm. But for what? Just a power failure? We head down the hallway, an electric hum of lights surrounding the eyrie overhead. Other than that, the place was dead quiet. The hall was about 100 feet long with 2 main doors. The doors have been opened to a large room that looks like a conference room with a whiteboard and paper screwed on it. Across the hallway is another door that looks like a laboratory of some sort. Then it slumps against the wall, defeat, and lets out a scary sounding chuckle. Something funny, I asked, as dark as the world panic gripped me. Dennis is chuckling inside the floor. I'm just gonna sit here for a while while you look around. There's a look in his eyes that reminds me too much of a dead animal on the side of the road. I'm just a logger, so I won't know any mathematics stuff like that. Well, I'm probably not gonna know any sciencey stuff, so I probably should enter the lab. Conference room seems to be a good thing because they were probably in a meeting or something, might find some paperwork, top secret stuff maybe. Who knows? But I just don't think the lab's gonna help me right now. Ooh, papers. A large table sits in the middle of the room, lined with a series of chairs. It looks like something straight out of a showroom. A well-used whiteboard hangs on the wall, and there's scattered papers on the desk. Let's look at the papers. Most of the papers and printouts have codes and equations all over that go way over my head. But there's also a handwritten notes that don't make me feel better about our situation. I read through them and see scrawled notes, something like, last experiment failed, overdose before transportation, levels indicate cellular catabolism, more lead shielding in export suits, measuring make no sense, let Barksdale know about possible Higgs field fix. What? Few things scribbled on the whiteboard, mostly formula and names. But there are some things that are easy to understand, something that makes my blood go cold. Subject 6, cause of death, embolism or aneurysm, or both. Ideas for a new delivery mode, spherical liquid, comatose state. TerraCore Co., possible plutonium supplier. Outside the hallway I hear Dennis grunting. I head out to see the room. She's still seated on the floor, but I don't get very far because as I exit, a man comes rushing around the corner with an automatic rifle in his hand. Oh shoot! Well, don't shoot me! I'm sorry. It's hard to look beyond his rifle, but the man is carrying is young, with a messy dark hair. His skin is so pale that I wonder if he maybe lives down here. He has the look of a guy who's been cooped up for a little too long. He doesn't seem like the kind of person I trust with a gun in a stressful situation. As he sees us in the doorway, he screams and brings the gun up. It is aimed directly at my head. Dennis jumps up and stands next to me. He's ready to run for it. I recognize him by his height and his build. He's the person I could barely see at the dark of the tunnel. No trying to attack. Dennis is hurt. He has a gun. He's ready to shoot. We are not attacking. Somebody's gonna die if we attack. I put my hands in the air, surprised at how natural it feels to get in this surrendered state. Maybe it's because it feels like a dream. Maybe it's because I feel like I'll snap awake if the maniac pulls the trigger. I recognize you. You stomped around and set off the emergency mics in the entrance. What? I asked, unable to think of anything else to say. Who are you? The man asked. Did you do this? The man eyes us both, and I see something in his eyes that unsettles me. He is scared. There's nothing else. Yeah, I'm gonna be honest. This was my plan all along, to get caught by somebody so I can explain. His eyes look distant for a minute and says, bullshit. For some reason, I'm pretty sure he knows I'm telling the truth. Someone knocked the power out, he says. It's back on now, but if we're out long enough, well, we're in a heap of trouble. Was it you? Who sent you? Look, we don't know what you're talking about, Dennis says. Something happened in the woods. Are you alone? Are the others with you? The armed man asked, thrusting the gun in my face. How the hell did you get in this situation? I think to myself, if only I had left that damn ringing noise alone, we wouldn't be here. I'm not really sure if I want to give this guy information yet. We don't know anything about him. Then again, he might send answers. We're looking for our crew. We have other crew members that we can't find. Our crew? This man thinks we're nuts. There's no telling what he might do. The fact that he looks a little crazy himself makes the situation even hairier. But how'd you get in here? Went down the hall and towards the subway. We came in that way. The doors weren't locked. His expression calmed for a bit, but I am still not aware of the gun level than a foot away from my face. No. I grabbed the gun. He's got fire. We're making a trust thing. Oh shoot! The only way I'm putting this rifle down is if I blow your brains out. With that, he raises the muzzle gun and flips my hard hat to the floor. It's a childish move, a playground tactic at best, but it suffices to show me he's in control now. Then he levels the rifle at Dennis. I can only assume that his wounds make him appear to be the weak of the rest. The man takes a shaky step forward. Dennis looks back and forth between the barrel and the gun and me, his eyes pleading for help. Step between Dennis and the gun. Before I'm fully aware of what I'm doing, I step out front of Dennis. The barrel of the rifle nearly touching my chest now. Both Dennis and the man seem a little confused at my action. I do my best to swallow down my fear. I don't know what's going on here, but we are here by mistake. Well, you have no business here. But now the power's on, I think you might be too late anyway. For what? I ask. He doesn't answer me. Instead, he steps forward and actually pushes me backwards at the end of his rifle. The man then repeats a question asked before. It makes no sense, honestly, for me. He might be a little crazy. Who sent you? You assholes from the Pentagon? I'm not quite sure how to take this question. Is this guy joking? No! I'm not gonna do that! Your sarcasm's really gonna help when he's less than an inch away from me with a gun. No, what the hell are you talking about? No, we're just loggers. Something blew up and my friend got hurt. We're looking for the rest of our crew. Likely story. But I see a flicker of recognition in his face that makes me think he might believe me. Still, his grip on the gun is as tight as ever, and the look in his face makes me think he'll shoot at any moment. You both just stand still, he says. Sooner or later, someone will come along and I'll turn you over. He thrusts the gun folder as if he had an invisible bayonet on it. There's no need for that, I tell him. I have no guarantee that he won't pull the trigger. Look, you don't want any trouble, you're just as confused as you are. Then a movement as fast as a minute. Movement so fast that I just about miss it. Dennis lunges forward. I have no idea how he's moving so fast. Just 30 seconds ago I was worried about how close to death he looked. But now he's moving lightning fast, left arm coming down on the barrel of the gun like a club. In the commotion, the man does pull the trigger, a booming noise and deafening. And there is a moment where I think I've been hit. It takes a clanging noise on the ground, tearing into the floor at my feet, that helped me realize I have not been shot. I look at the floor and see where it's shot. My right leg is by less than 3 inches. I'm paralyzed in shock for a moment as Dennis and the man fight over possession of the rifle. I see there's a fire extinguisher on the wall, and I can use it as a bludgeon, but I might not have enough time to grab it before Dennis is overpowered. No, we have to do it now. This is in the moment we gotta hit him. Dennis has the man pinned to the floor, but he isn't strong enough to keep him down. As I fall to the floor to help, the barrel of the gun swings right at my face, a reminder of how close I had come to being shot. On my knees now, I deliver a hard, stiff punch to the man's face. I don't punch someone often, never really, but I'm not usually the brawling type. Still, it apparently looks effective. The man's head snaps back and his grip on the gun loosens. Dennis grabs the gun and falls to the floor, clearly winded and in pain. Our attacker is immobilized. I can feel a shift in the situation. Yet, although he is basically harmless now, I feel a need to pummel him, a desire that builds up with each second I look at him. No! Yeah, this was the only reason I attacked. Yeah, we're taking it easy. Dang it, we're not freaking monsters. He's definitely out now, no threat. At least, that's what I think. Then he surprises me by mustering up one swift kick in my direction, connecting with my forehead. My eye would swells up of a grape almost immediately. It seems like our last attack was more to spite me than to defend myself. I stumble back and ready myself for another round of blows. He just slouches into the floor. He's done. Dennis instantly hands the rifle over to me when I take it with my shaky hands. I can't believe you stood between me and that gun, Dennis says. He could have killed you. I was pretty sure he wouldn't, although I had not known such thing. Still, thanks, man. That was some heroic stuff. You would have done the same, right? Dennis says nothing. His eyes just look to the floor. What do we do now, boss? We come this far, no one answers. I sense Dennis does too. I walk over and pick the gun up in my hard hat off the floor. After placing it on my head, I turn to the man. We get answers from this guy? No answers, the man says. I don't have any. Next time, I won't just hit you, I say, plunging a rifle toward him. Now get up. He obeys quickly, but his legs are wobbly and he leans against the wall for support. I can feel my swollen eyelid where he kicked me earlier, just hoping it didn't get so bad to affect my sight. Okay, let's move, I say, pointing the gun further down the hallway. We come this far, and I'm not going to let this guy stop us. We walk down the hallway until we come to an end. A single elevator waits for us. Its steel sliding doors, larger than a normal elevator. Whoa, that looks weird. Before I get into the elevator with this guy, I think it's wise to learn a bit more about him. I can tell it's making him uncomfortable for me having the gun. What's your name, I ask. Marcus. And you work here? It's clear he doesn't want to answer, but he gives a little nod. We're looking for the rest of our crew. Any idea where it might be? I ask. No. Not bothering you, ever. There's got to be some useful info we can get out of this guy. I just need to know how to dig for it. First aid kit I need a first aid kit for my friends here. Where might I find one? Down on the 2nd floor, but we can't go down there. What's on level 2? He looks like me. I mean, you must You must be aware you're inside a classified government facility. Makes sense, but I want to doubt it. Well, I'm sure our government would want to send help for my friends, so take me down to the first aid kit. I can't. You don't have clearance. Hell, I barely have clearance. Then, seemingly to himself, he mutters, I make this place run. Not even a thank you, just a bunch of restricted access rooms, and that I'm only allowed to go into with a freaking chaperone. I interrupt his monologue. We're going to that first aid kit. I could lose my job, he says. I wonder for a moment what sorts of trouble I could get for in just hitting a government employee. This makes me feel glad I took it easy on him. Then again, he had come up with us with a rifle. It makes me think that things have gone terribly wrong in this place, and that explosion in the woods, whatever the hell happened, might be linked to it all. I need to convince him to take us to the second floor, but I'm not sure if more productive to threaten him or ask for sympathy. Gotta ask for help. Look, it hasn't been the best day. We're trying to find out what's going on, to find our crew, to survive. I know it isn't a normal situation down here, but it looks like all your protocols have been blown to hell. Can't you help us out? He looks at me sternly, weighing his options. Okay, he says. Thank you, I say. With an untrusting stare, Marcus walks to the elevator door, approaching a small keypad on the doors. He punches a bunch of numerical code on the keypad, and we hear a slight mechanical hum behind the steel doors. After a few seconds of angrily glances and frightened sneers from Marcus, the elevator arrives. The steel doors sliding open with a whisper, revealing the interior. It's exceptionally well lit and looks like it's made of stainless steel. I half expect the thing to take off at speed of light, but there's another small keypad right in front of the right panel of the door with the options for 3 sub-level floors. Looks like this elevator doesn't go to the surface. So after we go get the first aid kit for Dennis, how do we get out of here? We can't leave. Once the power came back on, the whole place was put to lockdown. What? I shout. Can't you override it? No. It's to prevent anything from getting out. I can't. Marcus looks and deflated as Dennis. We can't get out. We're stuck here. Dennis leans into the corner and almost falls onto the floor. The struggle for the rifle took a lot out of him. I can see that much in his face. Slowly we start to move down. The hum and grind of the car's motors fill the space. God. So are we stuck here forever? Marcus scowls at me. I think it's a fair question. It doesn't seem unreasonable to assume that we won't be able to get us out. We'll find somebody with the access codes who'll be begging for me to figure out how to lift the lockdown. These people think they're so brilliant, but some of them can barely turn their own computers on without help. The top coder in my class at MIT. I'm the top coder in my class at MIT, and I'm stuck living underground helping idiots who don't even trust me with keys. What goes on here? Marcus shakes his head. You may as well shoot me. I can't tell you. Why not? It's beyond classified. The things I know don't even cover the start of it. What does that mean? I ask, starting to get irritated. It means even if I wanted to tell you what sort of work is being done here, I don't even know about it. What's your job? I handle the IT work, make sure the databases are up and running. It's a 24/7 job. I haven't seen sunlight in almost a year. I wonder what staying in a place like this for too long could do to someone's mind. I was recruited. Because of the workload, no one else wants this job, but I don't really mind being by myself, no family. Plus the IT, some crazy shit. Crazy how? This place generates over 100 terabytes of data per day, he answers, getting the slightest bit of excited before his face falls again. What happened here? Seems something like some sort of power outage. That's all I know. There was an outage and then what? And things got weird. Things got bad. Bad how? This whole place seems to be shaking. To shake when the lights went out. I was checking on the monitors when it all happened and everything went dead. It took no more than a minute or so before I started hearing screams. People were being killed by something. I tried getting the security cameras going, but when they only lasted for a little bit on my backup systems, but when I saw feeling a sharp fear worm its way into my guts. What I saw on the screens for a bit made no sense. It made me get the gun from the emergency vault. I think whatever it is still down there. Hold on. There's an emergency vault with a rifle in the same room as security cameras in this place? Marcus gives me a grin that looks nearly insane. There are guns locked away in every room in this place, just in case, you know. Just in case of what? He opens his mouth to answer. The elevator comes to a stop and the doors slide open. Marcus is out right away without a word. He makes his exit and heads directly for the glass-in room that is filled with computer monitors and the high-end equipment. Dennis and I file out behind him, trying to keep up. As we do, a very alarming question runs through my head. What the hell kind of government facility keeps a loaded gun in every emergency vault, every single room? Whoa! That was awesome. Curiosity. You and 58 players called out Marcus when you saw him in the tunnel. Selfishness. You and 64 players stepped in front of Dennis to protect him from Marcus. Mercy. You and 65 of the players went easy on Marcus after he surrendered. That's all for this episode. The story is unraveling in a way I would never imagine. It is so amazing. I cannot wait to do more. I will also be doing more Tattletale gameplays, but for now, I don't have the time. I will do more. I'll try and record more over this weekend. I will try and get so much done. It's just that I'm doing a new video that's going to be really good, and I really hope I can post it. It's just that I'm really tied down. I'm sorry I haven't been posting much. I'm trying to get like one video posted each week, and it's not getting very good or close to that. Well, anyway, thank you all so much for watching. Please click that like button and subscribe today. And I'll see you guys in the next video. Bye-bye!